train your Gavin. Read those books in a blink, oh yeah. Grab yourself a hot drink cause you're watching How to Train Your Gavin.
Yep, that's me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. This is a very special TBR video because this is going to be, well, mainly my Believathon TBR for next month, which is running from May 11th till May 24th, which is of course my middle grade readathon. This is the second round. The first round happened last November and oh my gosh, I've just been absolutely dying to get started with Believathon 2. I literally haven't had a set TBR until today. Believathon isn't the only readathon I want to do in May. I also want to do the Asian readathon that is hosted by Read with Cindy, and it is Asian Heritage Month, so it'll be great for my reading taste to be a bit more diverse this month. And when I decided to partake in Asian readathon, I decided that all of my books for Asian readathon will be middle grade based. So I'm really excited about that. It's literally going to be a middle grade May for me, bar a couple of exceptions. So I'll probably talk about my Asian readathon TBR first, and then my Believathon readathon second, and then go into some spare reads towards the end of the month because there are one or two that I do want to get to during this month. So let me get straight into it. The Asian readathon is all month long and I am going to do it in the first week of May. I'm going to try and do it from the 1st to round about the 8th or the 9th so that I can have time to prepare Believathon, but it is running all month long. There are so many things you could do with it that would really fit with Believathon as well, especially if you want to make it a middle grade sort of month. I have chosen authors of all different Asian ethnicities for each of the prompts. There are only really 4 prompts, and then there is an optional read along and watch along for Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I'm going to see if I can try and get a hold of that book. It might be on Scribd, it might be on Audible. I will try and get the audiobook version of that. My first read will be A Wish in the Dark by Christina Soontornvat, and she is a Thai author, and also the book comes out on May 1st in the UK according to Amazon. So I have it pre-ordered. Hopefully it comes in time. If not, I will just audiobook this one because I am so excited to read this one. So this one follows 2 children. The first one is called Pong, and he was born in a prison, but when he's older he escapes this prison. Then we have Nok, who is the prison warden's daughter, and she is a warrior, and she goes after Pong to try and bring him back to sort of salvage her family's reputation. It's a Thai-inspired fantasy world that is inspired by Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, and I am so looking forward to that because I really do enjoy that musical. I've never read the book by Victor Hugo, so I think it's totally different, but I do enjoy the musical, so we'll see how that goes. And that was to fulfill the prompt to read a book by any Asian author. And the next prompt is to read a book that has an Asian character or written by an Asian author who you can relate to. So for that one, I've picked Where the Mountain Meets the Moon by Grace Lin. And I will relate to this story because this is about a young girl who is being told these fantastical stories by her father about this jade dragon and this mystical old man in the moon. And her family's very poor, so she wants to sort of go on this adventure to find this old man in the moon and make some kind of wish, or she tries to get her family's fortune to change. And I do relate to that. My family is not rich by any stretch of the word. So I think the exploration of family and going on this, quest to try and change her family's fortune is going to be something I'll really relate to. It is filled with these sort of beautiful illustrations, and chapters look a bit like this, so there are stories sort of interwoven with the main story. Grace Lin is also a Taiwanese author, and with middle grade fantasy being pretty much my favourite kind of book, I just think this is going to tick all the right boxes for me. So the next prompt is to read a book featuring an Asian character or written by an Asian author who is different to you, which could literally be any book for me. I decided to go for The Gauntlet by Karunu Riazi, and she is Bangladeshi. This is steampunk Jumanji with a Middle Eastern flair. There are 3 friends who get trapped in this mechanical board game. They need to defeat the diabolical architect, and there is also some kind of family thing going on as well because I think one of the main characters has a baby brother who is trapped in this game. So it just sounds so fantastic. I love Jumanji. I haven't really seen anybody talk about this one either, so it's gone straight up to the top of my list. And then the last prompt is to read a book recommended by an Asian friend. So I'm reading Arusha and the End of Time by Roshani Chokshi, and Roshani Chokshi is a Filipino Indian. So this is also the MythTake book for the MythTake book club that is hosted by Ashley, the Follow Through Fiction, and Charlotte. This one was going to be on my May TBR regardless, but I left a comment on Cindy's video asking for a recommendation, and she recommended this one. So I'm going to read this one. I know this is about a young girl who has an architect for a mum, and her mum goes away, and Aru lives in the Museum of Ancient Indian Art and Culture, and three classmates come by. She gives them a story that this lamp is cursed, and she sets about proving it, and she accidentally unleashes a demon who is trying to bring forth the god of destruction. So Arusha has to sort of fix her mistake, and this is the first book in the Pandava quartet. So there's 3 more books. I have the second one, so I'm going to see how I get on with this one. So I'm going to read this for my final prompt for Asian Readathon, and of course for MythTake as well. So kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then from May 11th to May 24th we have my Believathon, which I am so excited to host, and honestly I am just... oh, I cannot wait. I can't even make sense anymore. But this is the compendium that you can download for free. I will leave a link down in the description box for you, as well as more information about Believathon as well. But this is the compendium. It has all of the quest information in, and there is a sort of story to go along with each prompt. So I would recommend probably dipping in and out of the compendium when you are finishing and starting a new book on your quest. So according to the map, we have to start with the Porter's Pocket Inn, which is the first in a series. And for that I'm going to read Greenglass House by Kate Milford. So it's wintertime in Greenglass House, and it is sort of like a smuggler's inn, and during wintertime it's very quiet, but the adoptive son of the Greenglass House owner, he is expecting to have this really quiet, really relaxing sort of winter holiday. So with it being a quiet season, that's what he expects, but oh no. This time, these guests come out of nowhere, and each of them have this sort of story with them as well, and there's this kind of mystery. I genuinely have no idea the specifics, because when I've seen my favourite booktubers talk about this, they've been very ominous and vague about this one because it's a mystery and they don't want to ruin the surprises or anything. So that's all I know about it. It's a mystery. It looks so cozy. I want to read this on the first day of Believathon, which is May 11th. And I also kind of want to do a live reading in maybe about 8 PM UK time and have this really cozy first day of Believathon, you know, set everybody off on their quest kind of thing. So stay tuned for more information. I've got the Twitter and the Instagram for Believathon in the description. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing some live readings, and definitely for this one, cozy night in on the first day to read Greenglass House. So join me if you can. I should also mention that I'm going to try and do 8 out of the 11 prompts in the 2 weeks of Believathon. I think 4 middle grade books per week would be doable. So then I'm going to go to The Yellow Brick Road, which is a book you should have read years ago. So I'm going to read Cog Hop by Peter Bunzel. This has been on my radar for the longest time. This one is, I think, steampunkish. It's set during Victorian times. It follows Lily, whose father goes missing, so she goes on an adventure to find him. I imagine that's what she's going to be doing. But she takes her friend Robert, who is the clockmaker's son, and Malkin, who is her mechanical fox. And it just sounds so magical and whimsical and crazy. So this is one that people have been screaming at me to read for a while as well, and I'm just really excited. I should have read this years ago. Then I'm going to nip to Baba Yaga's house, which is to read a book featuring a family relationship, and for that I'm going to read Dark Whispers by Vashti Hardy. This is the sequel to Brightstorm, which I read earlier this year and absolutely loved. That's like a skyship adventure story. So in Brightstorm, it's 2 siblings, and they get the news that their father has perished on this expedition to find South Polaris, and they decide to take matters into their own hands because they don't believe everything they've been told. So they join this like ragtag team of sky pirates kind of thing, and they go on this adventure, and this is going to be the sequel to that one. Don't know anything about this one, and I don't want to ruin it for you guys, so I'm going to read this one. I have the audiobook for it as well, so I'll do an audiobook physical copy read through, and it's just going to be a great time. Then I'm going to jump to Mermaid's Lagoon, which is to read a book featuring a female Bond, and for that I want to read Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I've been wanting to read this for the longest time. I might need to read this. Definitely picked up when I saw the new film that came out, I think late last year, but I only saw it earlier this year. And that film was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. So it made me want to pick this one up even more. And I knew one of the prompts for Believathon would be read a book featuring a female Bond. And this is perfect for that one. So this follows the 4 March girls. There is Jo, Beth, Amy, and I've already said Jo. Meg. These sisters support each other during hard times, during good times. One of them is ill, and other ones kind of want to do different things to the other sisters, and it's just like their paths are just dividing, and it's just a fantastic story. I'm going off on the movie, so I think the book is pretty much the same. I'm just dying to plow straight into this one, and I believe Kayla from Books and Lala really enjoyed this one. I think she's read it a few times this year alone. So that also prompted me to want to read this even more. So yeah, thank you. So from there I'm going to Black Ice Bridge, which is to read a book featuring an expedition or an adventure. So for that one I'm going to be reading How to Train Your Dragon, my channel namesake, by Cressida Cowell. So this is very different to the movies apparently, and this is about a young boy called Hiccup, and he lives in a Viking village and he is the chief's son. And he has to capture a dragon and train it. It sounds similar to the movie. I don't know what's different or not, so I'll find out when I read this. But it's quite a short read. I'm sure I'll fly through it, so it's going to make this reading week, well, 2 weeks, even easier. So I'm happy about that. Then I'm going along to Orion Found, which is to read a sci-fi book or a book with space-related words in the title. And I'm going to read The Infinite Lives of Maisie Day by Christopher Edge for that prompt. This is so super short as well. But this is about a young girl who wants to make her own nuclear reactor. So I think she wants to be like a scientist. And then one day she wakes up to an empty house, and when she goes outside, everything's just this big black nothingness. And I genuinely don't know what happens from there. So it sounds really exciting, really intriguing. For this prompt, you can also read Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm. And this is the middle grade monthly book pick that me and Jade host. I have already read this one, so I will probably flick through it, give it a little bit of a skim read just to refresh my memory, but it's not going to be a proper read for me this month. I might dip in and out of this one just to refresh my memory. Yeah, you can choose this one for this prompt. I would highly recommend it. Middle grade monthly, yay. And I'm still not going to the Bookkeeper Stronghold yet, which is the final destination. I'm going along to the Bronte Rail, which is to read a book featuring transportation or with transportation on the cover. So for that one, I'm going to read The Lonely Heart of Maybelle Lane by Kate O'Shaughnessy. This one is about a young girl who doesn't have her dad. Her dad left the family years ago, and one day she hears her dad on the radio because he's this radio DJ in Nashville, and he is part of this singing competition that's going to be happening. So despite her mum's wishes, Maybelle goes on this journey to Nashville. She goes on this road trip with her neighbour and this bully of a boy who hitchhikes with them so that she can participate in this competition. It sounds great. I don't usually read contemporary, but I really fell in love with the cover. I just think it's going to be a really beautiful one, really touching. It's going to have that family dynamic in it and the sort of searching for belonging and father's approval, I would probably imagine, from this. So I relate. But I'm ready to read a really beautiful contemporary amongst all of this fantasy that I've picked, so it's definitely needed. And then finally, I will be going to the Bookkeeper Stronghold, which is to read the next book in a series, so it can be the second book, third book, fourth book, whatever book, as long as it's after the first. For that one, I'm going to read The Wizards of Wands Twice Magic by Cressida Cowell. Me and Jade recently read this one for Middle Grade Monthly last month, and I enjoyed Wizards of Wands. I thought it was really good. I love the audiobook version of it and reading this physically. That is a joint experience that I think to get the most out of this story, it's best to listen to the audiobook as you're reading it physically. The illustrations are very charismatic and it definitely adds to the story. And then David Tennant's narration is just perfect. So I want to try and do the same thing with this as well. It's chunky, so it's good to maybe keep it till last because the rest of them are quite short. I'll get to it quite quicker, I hope. This one follows Zar, who is a wizard, and Wish, who is a warrior princess. They are raised to be enemies, warriors against wizards, but there is this bigger enemy, the witch. It's a long story, so I'll not ruin anything for you, but yeah, they're supposed to be enemies, but maybe coming together to fight a bigger evil is best for them, who knows. But it's very intriguing, very magical, very whimsical, very silly, so I'm just really looking forward to continuing the series because the first book left things with a lot of questions and I'm just excited to see where it goes from there, so I picked this one. I think I still have round about a week after Believathon finishes to read other things as well. I definitely want to try and pick up Pockemon and Stubs by Sophie Green. This is like a noir-esque middle grade. And if I read through my other Believathon books, I may be able to fit this in on a different prompt on the Believathon map. So we'll see about that. This is there's a lot I'm trying to cram in May, so all I know about this is that it follows Lil, who is this wannabe reporter, and it's mystery and noir-esque, so it sounds fantastic, and I know Jade loves it. so I'm gonna love it. And then I also have The Tombs of a Twin by Ursula K. Le Guin, the second book in the second book in the Books of Earthsea series, and we are reading this for Le Guin Along, which has been hosted by Ashley the Frog Through Fiction. We will be talking about this one in June, and I'm looking forward to it. I read the first one, A Wizard of Earthsea, in April, so it's time to pick up the second one. Short enough. I think I'll get through it alright. To break up all that middle grade, I do want to try and read volume 3 of Saga, because I have been reading through these the past couple of months, and I'm now on volume 3, so maybe 1 volume a month will be great for me. And I'm just in love with this series. I don't usually read graphic novels, so this was such a surprise for me. Sci-fi world, set in space, 2 different people coming together and having a baby, and different species of aliens and things are in this big war kind of thing. Oh my god, there's so much to explain. But I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to read volume 3. It'll be one of the quick reads, because I also need to break up these novels with something a little bit easier. And then guess what comes out during Believathon? The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, and I definitely want to try and read that ASAP. I have it pre-ordered, so hopefully it comes during May, and then maybe try and do a reading vlog for it in the last week of May. Who knows? I am really excited for it. It is a Hunger Games prequel, and it follows President Snow when he was a young man. But I'm really interested in diving back into that world and seeing how Suzanne Collins furthers it, and yeah, all that. So I'm just so excited for it, and I hope it doesn't let me down. I really hope it doesn't. Pretty much mostly middle grade, and I'm so excited for May. You have no idea how excited for me I am. And I have so many videos I want to put up in May as well. There's a schedule kind of thing I want to do, definitely all dedicated to middle grade, so I hope you stick around and check out those videos as well. I definitely want to make a big thing of it and make it as interactive as possible. Be sure to follow Believathon on Instagram and Twitter to get more updates and reading sprints and readings and just loads of goodies and giveaways. So if you are participating in Believathon, there are 2 forms. One of them is for teachers or anybody who works in a school, and the other form is for everyone else. For everyone else, you can win a £100 children's book hamper. At the end of May, you'll let me know what kind of children's books you want. We'll work together and we'll figure it out, and I will send you £100 worth of children's books. And for the schools and teachers, I also would love to be able to gift your school library 2 brand new middle grade books every month until November, when the next Believathon happens. So fill in that form if you are a teacher or school faculty or anybody who wants to give to a school library, and then the other form for everyone else to win that £100 hamper. So definitely keep an eye out on all the giveaways. Another prize is that OwlCrate Jr are kindly gifting an OwlCrate Jr June box. So that'll be absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, OwlCrate Jr, for offering that. By the end of May, I will pick a random winner. Anybody who's participated, anybody at all who has filled in the form, I will choose a winner at random to receive a June box from OwlCrate Jr. And I just hope you all have a fantastic, fantastic May. I should also wrap up this TBR. I am not picking up Saga because every time I pick it up, everything falls. So this is my TBR for May, and I'm not scared by this TBR. There are mostly middle grades on this, and a lot of these middle grades in fact all of them I'm so excited to read, so I'm not even intimidated. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I'm so excited to partake in Asian Readathon and Believathon, MythTake and Middle Grade Monthly. Those are all the book clubs and readathons that I'm doing in May. I'll leave all the information down below. So please let me know what readathons you're partaking in May. I would absolutely love to know what you're reading, and thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Please leave it a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!